A new ban list has just dropped, but it is for the TCG, not Master Duel. We are expecting a ban list for Master Duel within, I would say, this week, next week, hopefully after the World Champ qualifiers. By the way, I know that a lot of people were giving mixed responses about me VTubing. Listen, this is just on my alt stream. It is the VTube avatar or no cam. I like to duel with no clothes on, so it's either or. Now, let's get into the ban list. Are you ready? This could influence the Master Duel ban list, give some good insight of what could happen in the future for us. Hajime. All right. June 5th. All right, moving on. Newly Unlimited. Went from 1 to 3, Steam the Cloak. I don't think Black Wings will want to play more than one anyway. They're sending the Steam from the deck to the graveyard with the Boreas Storm, but sometimes that becomes a choke point for some people to want to interrupt the Boreas Storm, so maybe they'd want to play more than one Steam. I don't know about that, but I guess that's why it's okay to go to 3, because it's mostly going to just be played at 1, okay? Gen X Ally Birdman. Now TCG is joining OCG and Master Duel of putting this useless card to 3. This card wasn't useless back in my day. Karakuri would be popping off with this. It was very good. All right, moving on. Samsara Lotus. What the heck? Now at 3 for everyone. I mean, what? Is anyone even using these cards? What is Samsara Lotus FTK? Are you freaking kidding me? What the? Okay. And quickly just looking at recent use of the Gen X Ally Birdman. Sure. Let's move on. Spiral Quick Fix. You are joining Master Duel with this change, putting it at 3. But if we were to click on this card and look at a Spiral deck, aren't your other... Yeah, you have Master Plan banned still, as you could see here. Quick Fix would now be at 3. The Spiral Resort, I think you recently unlimited. All right, interesting, very good. Get Spiral in. This was a tier 0 deck back in the day. Moving on. Lear Lusk from 2 to 3. Yeah, this was semi-limited last year. And it was the other card that was banned with it was, I could bring it up because we have it banned also. Samorg. Wait, we don't have it banned. What am I talking about? Samorg. So this got banned with it because it would combo up with the Lear Lusk. It would summon an Apex Avian and or the Barrier Statue during the end phase. Really toxic. And now it's okay to be at 3. All right, very good. I think there's other limits, though, on Lear Lusk for TCG. Let's check real quick. Is the bird called? No, nothing. I guess, okay, sure. And I think the most popular way to play this is actually not Lear Lusk Pure, but Lear Lusk Tri-Brigade, which Fractal still at 3, Tenki at 3. Wow, it looks like it's fully unlimited. Okay, it's time to Lear Lusk Tri-Brigade. Moving on. Draco Face Off. Joining OCG and Master Duel by putting it at 3. Now, if I were to, and you could do this to any deck type you care about, if you want to cope, could type in a deck type like Draco Slayer and type not released, which would just show for Master Duel. So they have these cards, and it is a actual viable good deck type in TCG, which I believe this just now made it better. All right, let's go. Sky Striker, multi-roll. They are slowly unlimiting this deck type for all of the formats. Let me take a quick gander at this. Is there anything else restricted? Everyone's got this at, Engage. I guess they still have Engage at 1. Multi-roll, I think they were unique with that hit. What about the Kagari? Kagari's at 3 for everyone. Interesting. Let's keep on going. Okay, that's it for the to 3. Newly semi-limited, Herald of the Orange Light. This was hit and is hit for everyone for the main reason being the exchange of the spirit cards, also known as the Ishizu cards, which, as you can see, TCG, OCG, limited to 1, limited to 1, limited to 1, limited to 1. This allows you to win on turn 0. Your opponent goes first. You are the tier limit Ishizu player. You're now winning on their turn before you even go. This is kind of like Havness. Now, moving on. Kashtira. Oh my. Unicorn 2/2. Unicorn is the best starting card for Kashtira. Now, I know someone's going to be like, DK, no, the Fenrir. No. The Fenrir is good to be played in multiple different decks, but the best starting, and it's also very good going second. You want to summon Fenrir, get Banish in, but the best starter card is Unicorn to pop off of the combos. Now, I would like to talk about more of the Kashtira cards, but it may be on this ban list because Kashtira, I think, is being considered strong tier 1, possibly even tier 0 in TCG right now. So there's probably a lot more hits. So very good. Starter card, semi-limited. But, you know, of course, this is not enough. This is not enough. Lightning Storm. This is only, I would say, relevant for the purpose of side decks. So balancing the game around side deck. They don't want people just siding in bazookas for game 2 and game 3. A lot of people, like if you know you're going to go first, you then side in 3 Solemn Judgment, for example. So the whole side deck meta is kind of crazy where you just overload your deck with amazing go first and go second cards like Lightning Storm and Solemn Judgment. All right. Runic Fountain from 3 to 2, joining OCG and Master Duel with this. All right. Everything to 2. Nice. Oh, Engage. Engage is now also joining Master Duel and OCG by going to 2. Interesting. Very good. Multi-roll. So this is the only card that's now restricted and at 2. If you're a Sky Striker player, what do you think? Could this card come back at 3? Would it wreak havoc? I think it could come back at 3. What do you think? Let's let the Sky Striker players, they promise to be cool with this or what? You tell me. Moving on. Sprite Starter. All right, it is limited to 1 in OCG, semi-limited in Master Duel, now semi-limited in TCG. A big problem with Sprite Starter is Sprite's really techable in multiple different decks. Tri-Brigade Sprite was doing very well in OCG, so this does hinder future development of any deck that has level 2s whatsoever. So all right, restricted a bit. And that also having foresight of the impact of this ban list making Sprite better, I would say. But it's worth noting that they're hitting Sprite in addition to Sprite Elf being banned. So you'd have to think, was this not enough? Why are we doing more to Sprite? It's crazy because somehow with Elf banned, the deck is still doing well. Is the blue up next? Look at OCG though. OCG Jet to 1, Blue to 1, Starter to 1, and Elf banned. So there's still nowhere near as much hate for Sprite as OCG. But I don't think they're going to be getting there, are they? I mean, that's crazy. OCG seems a bit over the top. Now limited. Blaster from 0 to 1. It's doing nothing in Master Duel and OCG. Well, unless you are an Armed Dragon Chad, like Heartbreaker, the only one topping tournaments with his deck. There you go. Get blasted. All right, moving on. Mathmech Circular. Wow. Limited to 1. That is very interesting. With the shufflers being less prevalent, messing up their main Mathmech combo, this gets to become a bit better. But Bestial is also quite disruptive to the combo as you could banish the Sigma when you try to trigger the Circular. All right, I think I have a chart over here in case any of this got hit of what the OCG meta looked like. Even though this is TCG, I do think TCG could look at Japan to see what the future could be. That's generally a good idea when working on their ban list. And Mathmech is up there if they were to slap up Kashtira, because you don't just want to hit the problem. You want to figure out what would become a problem after the problem. And where's Sprite even on here? What the heck? I can't see it. Yeah, well, we saw how restricted it was. Interesting. All right, let's go back. Gamma. This is huge. Gamma to 1. Wow. So at 1 in OCG, 1 now in TCG, it's semi-limited in Master Duel. And I know you're all familiar for this, but for the few people that aren't, this card requires you to play a brick in your deck, the driver. So being able to play 3 Gamma, it made it much more viable to have this brick in your deck. So even with this card semi-limited, it's not that popular in Master Duel. It was immensely popular in TCG, and you even have room for it because there's no Max C. And because there's no Max C, you also, it's less necessary to have to play a card like Ash Blossom. So this card was just incredible for negating and destroying. Very good, very good. Dang Long from 0 to 1. Wow. Okay. They're just joining Master Duel and OCG, seeing that, you know, it's not really doing much. So I guess it's okay to unban it. Because look at this. Who's cooking with this? Not really too much. We have a Sword Soul cook here. Very good. Let's keep on going. Cash Tira Arise Heart from 3 to 1. Wow, that is interesting. So, you know, I on the surface, you think, you know, this is not a big deal. They generally can get by with just one, but now it could change the mentality of, if I get rid of their one Arise Heart, then you don't have to worry about another one. And speaking of Cash Tira, if you look at the Unicorn has the ability of, when it declares an attack or your opponent activates a monster effect, look at your opponent's extra deck and banish one monster from it face down. So now in the mirror match, your semi-limited Unicorn could yoink that Arise Heart. So you have to be so careful to not activate any monster effects if they were to summon a Unicorn turn 1, and you do not want that to be triggered. That is huge. But another problem with this is the Diablo, the Diablo Mind Hacker, turn 1, that you very consistently, you make this 2 level 7s, look at your opponent's extra deck and banish it. Straight up banish the Arise Heart. Wow. And it's on my mind because we're getting it soon in Master Duel. The Dogmatica deck type maybe could be a little more viable, since they like to mess with the opponent's extra deck. So you could use a card like this, look at your opponent's extra deck, and send their Arise Heart to the graveyard. So, all right, you know, maybe this became a little bit more viable, or is that some copium? You tell me. Let's keep on going down. If you didn't know, this card is nuts. Everything sent to the graveyard is banished instead. It's also very easily able to have the quick effect to banish your opponent's cards face down, but, you know, target banish. Very good. Okay. Now let's keep on going. Purrely. I mean, we just had the OCG chart up. I get okay. They're afraid of the Purrely. Fear of the Purrely. Interesting. Delicious Memory. Now, I've been playing some Purrely in my free time for fun, believe it or not. I think a lot of people are not liking this deck. It's quite a complicated deck, but that's why I'm interested. And the Delicious Memory was one of the best ways to set up with this deck. So allow me for, just give me 2 seconds here. Purrely, the main thing the deck does is it makes the big Purrely, the Noir. So what this does is it states that with 5 or more materials, it's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, so it becomes a towers, as the kids would like to say. And it has the quick effect to detach 2 materials from this card, target a card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, put it to the bottom of their deck, and it's not a hard once per turn. So just by summoning this, it's going to have 6 materials because it requires your card to have 5 materials to even summon it. And so you have 3 times, but you could very easily make it up to 4 times. Quick effect, put a card to the bottom of the deck. When I'm playing this, I'm spinning my opponent's entire back row if they don't make any big plays to the bottom of the deck. This is crazy. And what's even crazier is usually Konami, to balance a crazy effect like this, would require you to only be able to activate it in the main phase. This could be end phase, so they can't fake end their turn. They set 3 back row. You could spin all 3 back to the bottom of the deck during the end phase. And because this requires 5 or more materials under an Exceed to summon this, Delicious Memory was a very important way to set that up, because Delicious Memory helps you summon the Plump. The Plump states that you could target up to 2 spell and trap cards from either player's graveyard and attach it to this card. So what happens is, to even summon this, it's going to immediately have 2 materials under it, and then you activate its effect, then it's going to have 4 materials under it. Then all you have to do is activate any of the Purrely cards once, the quick play ones, then it has its 5th material, and now you got the Noir. And why that's a big deal, so follow me here if you don't understand this deck type, is every other Purrely requires you to activate 3 quick play spells, And you could be chain link blocked on this, by the way. So you have to not be chain link blocked to activate 3 quick play spells to equip them under the Purrely just to make the Noir. So making this just became so much more difficult. It was a lot easier, and I would always be generally making the plump first to get the combo going. And not only is this less consistent, it's even less consistent because you have this card that states reveal 3 Purrely cards from your deck and randomly add 1 to your hand. So what I would normally do, and a lot of people would do, is they would reveal 3 Delicious Memory for a guaranteed way to add it to your hand. So now this no longer guarantees, adds it to the hand, and you're much less likely to be set up than is crazy. What the heck? Wow. This is brand new deck type too. I think it's within this month even. This is less than a month old, and they just made this a lot less consistent. And as you can see from me highlighting, OCG has not touched this deck. So for TCG to hit Purrely before OCG, that is insanity. Wow, are Purrely players mad about this? Less than a month, your deck already gets hit? That's insane. I can't believe it. Was it really that much of a problem? Wow, I'm just shocked. I am shocked. Naturia Sacred Tree from 3 to 1. I've been loving Naturia a lot. I've been posting a lot of YouTube videos. I even have more clips with it from the World Champ Qualifier, clapping up tier limit. And what's crazy about this is it's not a hard once per turn. If sent to the graveyard, discarded from the hand, sent from the field to the grave, sent from your deck to the grave, which is the normal way to get it in the graveyard, you're going to activate to search any Naturia card, and I would love to mill or send multiple to the graveyard to activate multiple times. Now you're not going to be able to do that unless you use an Ishizu card to return it back in the deck. That is crazy. So let's see real quick to give some insight on this. The last YCS that happened, okay, this was before Purrely and before the Super Heavy Samurai coming into the meta, where, look at that, cash tier, 32, 50% of the top 64. Runic Naturia right there, it got second place also. So I think they're thinking that if they were to hit up the Kashtira deck too much, that this would be a problem. All right, it is a very powerful deck. It very consistently sets up nearly infinite spell negate and trap negate. Okay, very good. And the field spell was already being played at 2. They did semi-limit it. All right. Now, the semi-limit of the field spell is probably more for the stun version of the deck where they're playing a bunch of floodgates. Let's go back to the ban list. Newly forbidden. Cyberstein. Oh my Jesus. Is this not a Master Duel ban list or what? People on Reddit are already complaining about this card, and I would say rightfully so. Tier limit, a lot of people are using it despite it saying 57% are not using it. It is very easily setting up the ability to summon an Exterio. But the thing is, TCG does not have Sprite Elf. And that's the main way to summon your Cyberstein. You mill it, then you reborn it, then you make infinite spell and trap card negate with Exterio. I honestly, I'm going to be straight up. I don't know what TCG was doing with this. What were they doing? Was anyone doing anything with this consistently? Because I know it's a problem in Master Duel right now, but TCG? What? Okay. Just getting out of the way. Super heavy? I mean, this is alongside Purrely. This deck, what? This already got hit. Okay. Discard a monster, target a super heavy in your graveyard, special summon it. So I kind of told you how the Purrely works if you were unfamiliar with it. Now, let me look up something real quick. Hold on. Okay, yeah, there's no editing here. All right, here. This. Let me show you real quick what, thank you Super Nix for this combo. Look, 1-card combo. I'm just going to skip to the end and show you that he does use the link. You should use the link. So there you go. That's the link. And then let's look at the end fields. All right, hold on, it's not done yet. Okay, we have Omni Negate, we have another Omni Negate, we have triple Omni Negate, we have Sprite Elf Mate Reborn level 2 from the graveyard, and then we have the Abyss Dweller, which is turn off the entire graveyard. So rank 4 Exceed plus triple Omni Negate off of 1-card mate. Well, that's what the link card was doing. So, okay, very interesting. I just noticed my mouse is not being shown in the window. What the heck? Whoa! What the... Diablosis, the mind hacker. Wow, 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 wow. I'm going to try to edit my cursor to be on the screen real quick, and it's going to mess things up for 2 seconds. We're going to go right back. All right, live editing. Boom. This is crazy. You know what the Naturia deck is known for. It's known for locking up the field. People like to focus on the field lock. Most famously in a YCS, they were locking up like 8 to 9 to 10 zones on the field. This is the card that did it. A lot of people would be, let's look at the Naturia. Wow, this is crazy. Now, what's interesting about this is, you know, I think both of these are kind of connected. What this represents is sacking your opponent, and this also is sacking your opponent. Now, the thing is, doing the combo at Diablosis, it became a lot less popular. It was hyped up at first, but then, you know, no one wants to get locked up, so they're playing Nibiru to stop the combo, and you don't want to get Nibiru'd. So what people are doing instead is they're literally just making a Rise Heart and ending. This is under 5 summons. Everything sent to the graveyard's banished. And having the Macrocosmos on the field and quick effect banish a card face down, that was generally enough to beat most decks. But, you know, okay, and we were just talking about this earlier, that the Arise Heart being limited to 1, this would be allowed to be summoned turn 1 and banish the Arise Heart. So another problem with this card is I would say it was making Yu-Gi-Oh! More expensive, because if you play a 1 of in your extra deck, let's say you play 1 Scarecrow, well, you have to play 2 now. And if you play 2 of a card, you probably now have to play 3, because this card will look at your extra deck and banish that card face down. But the biggest offender of this is that whenever a card was banished face down, it would trigger to banish even more cards face down randomly off the top of your opponent's deck, which would super trigger your Shang-Ri. Your Shang-Ri, every time a card is banished face down, you lock up a zone permanently while it's face up. That zone cannot be used like an Ojama King. So you would summon the Diablos, you'd banish 1 from the extra deck, you lock up 1 zone, then it triggers off its own effect, then you banish more cards off the top of the deck, then you lock another card on the field. You know, hold on, let me look up the YCS. Naturia, zone lock. Here it is, here it is. All right. Let me grab that. Let me copy the link address. This happened in YCS. So let's see this. Let's see this. All right, there's the Shangri. All right. And look at that. It's Rise Heart. You're only going to have 1 zone locked. So it's not even that toxic, right? It's not that big of a deal. 1 zone locked. The problem is the Diablos, which made the Shang-Ri a problem. So let's see him summon that. Yep. Now he's got 2 Shang-Ri. So this will banish from the extra deck, which will lock 2 zones. Then it will banish off the top of the deck, which will lock 2 more zones, which means your entire back row is completely locked up on the first turn. You can't activate spell or traps. What the heck, mate? And then on the next turn, if he banishes any card face down with the Arise Heart, that will trigger the Diablos to banish cards off the top of the deck. So that's going to be banished 2, I should say lock up 2 cards of the Shang-Ri from the Arise Heart, and then lock up 2 more. The Diablos is responsible for 8 zones being locked. It's crazy right here. What the heck? Dude, what are you going to do with 1 zone? You got 1 zone and 1 extra deck monster zone. So, okay, TCG is taking the sackage to be more seriously. They're taking it more seriously, and a big deal about this is this card could be pre-banned before Naturia comes out in Master Duel. Think about that. That is a crazy idea. They did it to Totally Awesome. Totally Awesome banned before Sprite came out in Master Duel. So I would not be surprised if the Diablosis gets banned in Master Duel. Very, very interesting. Wow. But, you know, OCG did not do that. What the? Okay. And as we saw that, Naturia is not that big of a deal in OCG. So it's just Konami, TCG, they're anti-sacky. I think that Japan likes sackiness to be in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why we have Max C to keep all of the combo decks in check. But, of course, yes, you know, it's a joke if you can't tell. And I think that OCG likes that and TCG doesn't. TCG wants to try to mimic a more competitive version of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think Japan, Konami, is okay with Yu-Gi-Oh! Being crazy. Are you okay with Yu-Gi-Oh! Being crazy? You tell me. A pointer of the Red Lotus. This went from 3 to 1 to now 0. I talked about the side deck earlier where you would side deck in Solemn Judgment if you know you're going first or, and then you'd side it out if you're going second. Same thing with this. You know you're going first. You set this. You now get to look at your opponent's hand because you went first. Otherwise, if you went second, you don't want this card in your deck. And, they think this is too toxic. All right. Yeah, that's another sacky thing. Back in my day, the Appointer of the Red Lotus was a Trap Dust Shoot, which is that card banned? I don't even know. Trap Dust, is it 2 words? Trap Dust, oh yeah, banned everywhere. And this was so annoying to deal with. You look at your opponent's hand, select a monster card, return it to the deck. Everyone was playing this nonsense. I had to deal with this all day, every day. Not cool. It's really annoying. And, oh, wow. This is the anti-sack ban list. No sack with Diablos, no sack with Scarecrow, and no sack with the expulsion. This is, I like this. I'm happy about this. Wow. I think, what did we just post recently on my channel as a YouTube short and also as a video? Infinite damage glitch FTK. Yeah, this card facilitates FTKs thanks to the expulsion. And also you would summon onto your opponent's side of the field. The TCG really likes the Gimmick Puppet one. Because, I'd say it's the best one. They would summon Gimmick Puppet Nightmare onto the opponent's side of the field with the expulsion. This is what it does. And when this is summoned onto your field, so you're the opposing player against the expulsion, this states that when this is summoned, if this card is special summoned, you cannot special summon any monsters for the rest of this turn except Gimmick Puppet monsters. So you are locked out for the full turn. You can't chain Droplet. You can't chain anything. You're screwed. You're locked out. It's a sack. And what's unfortunate is looking at the recent branded decks of TCG, they're all using this. It's not really being used in Master Duel as much. Maybe because the Ishizu cards are too relevant. 32% still quite high. But maybe when the Ishizu cards get massively hit, the number would spike up. Big spike. So, wow. Anti-sack. I respect it. I like it. They can't be banning more cards. Woo, full changes. What would you like to see come to Master Duel with these restrictions? I'm also going to be looking at some of the comments here. I think Cyberstein should get banned in Master Duel. I would like to see the Diablosis get banned before Kashtira comes out. I do think Expulsion should get banned. I'm biased about the Naturia Sacred Tree because I like the deck a lot. The Purrely deck getting hit that early, kind of sus. And wow, Mathmech getting hit also. The Arise Heart limiting the power of Kashtira, pretty good. But you know what? This looks like to me that Kashtira is still going to be very, very good in TCG. And it's the most expensive deck, I believe. So a lot of people that invest in this deck, I don't think they lost out that much. And let me, wait a second. How many people were even playing more than one Arise Heart in their deck? I mean, for the mirror match, they probably had to play at least 2. Let's see. Wow, 3. Is that an outlier? Or are they all playing 3? They loved 3. You are not going to randomly banish my Kashtira Arise Heart from my extra deck. It's the main boss monster. So from 3 to 1, it's a big deal, but I'd say the deck is still very good. Okay, and what else is worth mentioning here? I guess that's pretty much the meat of this. Hopefully, oh, wow, okay, yes, I agree. We got the same opinion here. Diablosis gets the pre-hit before Kashtira comes out. They hit Stein and MD2. Yeah, the people are sick of Exterio, but, if they hit Elf, you wouldn't have to hit this, but there's no Elf in TCG. They still banned it. What the heck? Mathmech. Oh, no. Mathmech players. Mathmech. Circular hit. Happiness obtained. Wow. People don't like Cybers, huh? Not the circular. The people are happy. This is a huge ban list. This really is. Wow. Super Every Samurai Link 1 banned because, yeah, all right, it's funny, interesting, 1-card combo, ton of negates as I showed you, ain't no way. My Danglong is back, Delicious Memory to 1 hits hard, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a hard hit. It's actually a hard hit. And was it a necessary hit? I guess a cute deck's not allowed to be top tier, right? Wow. Extra thick Purrelys. It was also worth noting that the the Delicious Memory gives 300 attack and defense per card attached. So if you had multiple Delicious Memories, your Purrely would get huge, so huge. It would be like 600, 900 per card material that's attached to your card. W ban list, worth the wait. Now we wait for the Master Duel ban list, which should be next week. My boy Circular, big blank and ban list. Kashtira plays, but the mirror will be very strange. Yeah, wow. All right, I said this. I said this. Unicorn, Unicorn, banish the Arise Heart for the win. Diablos Mind Hacker is so good. Yep, that's the thing that they couldn't restrict Arise Heart and allow Diablos to still be out because that would be sacky. And it looks like TCG, they do not like the sack. No sacking allowed. Super Heavy Samurai. Oh my, geez, there's so many comments. Cyberstein banned, why? Okay, yeah, let me, I do want to know why. Why? Because there's a lot of fusion that have insane effect. Yeah, that doesn't really say why. Because Naturia X, yeah, but that's in Master Duel. I don't think that's being a big deal in TCG at the moment, but very good. All right, let me know if you enjoyed these extra long videos and would like to do more of them. Thank you very much. We are out. Looking forward to the next ban list for Master Duel, though. Let's go.